I'm Robbie Craig of the Flip Flop Flipper. I'm a value add real estate investor and I've flipped over 3,000 houses, guys. On this video, I'm going to show you how you can flip your first house. So when you're buying your first flip, you can do this through contacting realtors, through contacting wholesalers. You can do this by going to tax deed sales or foreclosure sales. Guys, there's dozens and dozens of ways to find your first flip, and it doesn't even really matter. You can just start telling people who you are and what you want to do, and let your network of friends and family bring you a deal. They're out there. You just have to look at enough pieces of real estate, and what you're looking for is the stuff that's distressed, that needs the value add so that you can buy it cheap and then fix it up, do the value add, and then sell it for more money and make a big profit. All right, so you found a deal, or at least you think you found a deal. Now you're going to need to determine if you can buy it right and what it's going to be worth after it's fixed up. So you're going to need to learn comparables. What are comparables? Comparables are properties that have sold in the neighborhood or very close to the neighborhood that look a lot like the house that you're buying. An ideal comparable, and this is something that no one else is saying out there, an ideal comparable will have been bought by another value add real estate investor at a very low price and then fixed up, renovated, and then sold for top dollar. And you will see these comparables because you'll see the low price bought in, like, say, June, and then it's fixed up over the next month or two, and then it's sold again in September, and the price in June is $100,000 and the price in September is $200,000, and in between there was some value add. So that's how you determine a good deal. That's what you're looking for when you're looking at these comps. You want to determine through price per square foot, and through maybe getting a CMA from a realtor. There's a lot of different ways that you can run comps or comparables, and it doesn't take you a lot of money. You don't have to pay for appraisals, although that is another way that you could do it. Guys, I'm trying to give you the meat and potatoes of it, the easy things that you can do that anybody who's listening to me can do. If you want to become a value add real estate investor, follow these steps and you can do this. All right, guys, so now let's assume you found the deal, however you found it, and you realize that you're buying it at a good price and that there's value in between. So you know that you can spend some money fixing it up, and you need to determine whether or not you're going to be able to do the renovation for the house inside of that margin. So what's that mean? That means that you're going to have to talk to some contractors. And again, I said earlier in the video, networking is a theme here. You're going to be networking if you're going to be a value add real estate investor, because you need to be talking to people who are going to actually do the work. Unless you're a handy person and you can do it all yourself, then you've got an advantage on the rest of us, guys like me who can't fix things themselves. You can determine what the value is or what it's going to cost in order to fix the property up. So how much is it going to cost to demo it out and get rid of all the garbage and rip the kitchens out and then replace them and put them back? Do you have to replace the roof? Do you have to replace the electrical and upgrade the plumbing? These are things that you're going to look at, and you're going to I would encourage you to have a GC or at least a really, really good handyman who does everything come out and look at your property. And this, guys, before you put it under contract. So you've got an agreed upon price, or maybe you could even do this after you've put it under contract during your inspection period, but you've got an agreed upon price. You think it's going to be worth X when it's fixed up. You need to make sure that your renovation costs are going to give you enough profit. So here's a rule of thumb that you can live and die by. If you can buy a property and then fix it up and be all in for 70% of what you think you're going to sell it for, that's a great deal. That gives you plenty of margin for you to buy it, fix it, and then sell it. And you're going to make some money on that. So quick math on that. If you're buying it for $100 and you've got to put $35,000 into it, that would mean that you'd be selling it for around $200,000. 70% of $200,000 is $140. So if you're buying that property for a low enough number, and then the renovation is a low enough number that you can be all in at $140 or less, you've got yourself a great deal, and you move on to the next phase. You're going to close on the property. So now when you're ready to close on it, how in the hell are you going to pay for it? So for this scenario, I'm going to assume that you guys don't have a bank full of cash and you're not just going to throw $140,000 of your dollars into it. You're going into this thinking that you need to find somebody else's money, and that's the real estate dream. That's what's so beautiful about becoming a value-add real estate investor, is that you can do this using other people's money, and anybody can do it. You don't really need great credit. You don't need to have a ton of money in the bank. Probably do need to have enough to have some skin in the game, but you can get there. You can find partners that will come in with the cash when you find a great deal like this, or you can find hard money lenders, and the hard money lenders are out there. They're very easy to find. You can find them again at your local RIA when you network there. You can find them online, just Google searching them. Hell, you can probably go on the YouTube channel and just Google search hard money lenders. All right, so now you've bought it, you found the money, you closed on it, you've hired the contractor or you've done the work yourself, you've done the value add, you've brought this thing up to its maximum value, and you're ready to sell it. Now, you can either sell it yourself as a FSBO, for sale by owner, or I'm assuming most of you guys aren't realtors. If you're in the States, at least, the MLS system works like a charm. So hire a realtor and they will list the property for you. It does cost you some money to do that. So if you want to become a realtor, you could consider becoming a realtor and you would save some money. On our property here that we're talking about in Winter Park, Florida, I'm no longer a broker in Florida as I've moved to the island of Puerto Rico and I closed that business down. But my son is a broker, and TJ, the wholesaler, he's also a broker. So we're going to put the house on MLS, and it's going to save us about 3%. So if you do it hiring a realtor, you can expect to spend 5 to 6% for the privilege of hiring that realtor. We do it as licensed brokers. We're going to put it on the MLS and we're only going to have to pay the one side. So it's going to be 2.5 to 3% of the fee on the sales price. So on the property that we've got here, we bought it, just so you know, I'll run through the numbers. We bought it for just over $200. We paid $210,000 for it. We put another $150,000 in the renovation. And guys, this is kind of extreme. I'm not suggesting that you go out and do a $150,000 renovation on your very first flip. There are lower renovations. There are houses that need way less, and the vast majority of the time, things don't need $150,000, but this one did. It was a bit of a hoarder house. You could see in the pictures, it looked terrible. We did everything, all the electric, all the plumbing, all the doors, the windows, redid the pool. I mean, there's really nothing that didn't get rebuilt on this house. And so we've got it looking beautiful now, and we're going to sell it at top dollar. And when we started out, we were at 210. We thought we'd be at about $130,000 on the renovation. It pushed up to about $150,000 on the renovation. And we were expecting to sell the house for around 500 to 525. But while we were in the process, the house two doors down sold for $550,000, which was really good for us because our house is bigger, it's better, and it has a pool. So we think that our property is going to now sell for at least $550,000, and we're probably going to take it to market at closer to $600,000. So all in all, we think on this deal that we'll make more than $100,000 profit. So that's something that we're looking for, and that's what we are encouraging you to look at. So on our deal here, on our hero, we believe that we're going to be able to sell it for between $550,000 and $600,000. We're going to be all in at around the $360,000 mark. So that puts us under that 70% rule that we talked about earlier. And here's something that I'm doing, and you can maybe do this as well. We actually partnered with the wholesale guy so that we didn't have to pay much of a spread. Actually, we bought it for what he bought it for. So we got a great deal. We brought him into the deal because he wanted to stay in for the long term. He'd been doing wholesaling for a long time, and he was excited when we asked him to stay in the deal and invest with us and get a bigger return than what he would normally make. So on a typical wholesale deal, it's small money. He contracts something at a great deal, and then he sells it to someone like me, and he leaves the lion's share for the value add real estate investor that hopefully that's you. So if you can, partner with the wholesaler and keep him in the deal. You'll get to use his expertise, and he'll be excited about becoming a value add real estate investor. So it becomes a great symbiotic relationship. This idea of partnering with wholesalers, it's okay to let other people make money, and it's okay to let people do the lion's share of the work. A lot of the work that you're going to find is you need to look at hundreds of houses to find a great deal. So TJ did that in this case. He looked at hundreds of houses in order to find this one deal, and he brought it to us, and we provided the money. We provided the ability to close on it, the ability to renovate it. So guys, that was a real quick recap of how you can buy your first flip. And that's a high level explanation of what happens and what goes into this. And I know that I said a lot in there. So guys, I want to leave you with this. We started a community on the School app. School is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Come over there. You can get all your questions answered. You can become a real estate investor. And we are also going to have a how-to course on becoming a real estate investor. So we're going to deep dive into this stuff. Stay tuned for that. But join us on School. Always give this video a like, subscribe to our channel. God bless.